Participants from 40 different countries arrive on the Piazza della Loggia in Brescia for the start of this year's MILLE MIGLIA. This year's star driver is Scottish Formula One champ David Coulthard, alongside veteran racing heavyweight Stirling, the fastest MILLE MIGLIA participant of all time.
What an honour. You know, this man won this event in the 50s in just over 10 hours. Now we take 3 days to complete, but he's a great ambassador for this event. He's a true gentleman.
Back then, British race car driver Stirling risked everything to win.
Stirling in a 300 SLR has driven an average speed of 157 kilometers per hour, a new and almost unbelievable record.
I do remember the last section because from Cremona to Brescia, I managed to average 165 miles an hour, which is quite fast. And in fact, there was an aeroplane filming it, and I was able to pass the aeroplane because they weren't as quick as the car was.
These days, the MILLE MIGLIA is no longer a professional race. It's more like a huge party with vintage cars in the spotlight. Mikka Hakkinen is here for the third time in the futuristic successor to the SLR. Coulthard is driving the original 1955 Mercedes.
This event has got a great history, and there's a lot of enthusiasm from the people. But it's so different to Formula One, where here you can get right on top of the cars and the drivers. Obviously, in Formula One, the spectators are kept a long way back. So, in many ways, it's fantastic for the crowd, but it's very difficult for the car.
You have fantastic cars here, old cars and new cars, great people, a lot of fans of the cars. It's a great event.
The race starts on Thursday evening in Brescia. The drivers have a 1,600-kilometer course ahead of them. All 375 participating vehicles have to have been built in 1957 or before. Not all of them make it to the end of the first stage in Ferrara. Coulthard arrives at around 1:30 in the morning.
The car is in much better shape than I am. It's got a beautiful torque from the engine. The brakes are maybe not as good as what I'm used to, but nonetheless, this was a real racing machine of its time. So probably the most expensive car I've ever driven.
There isn't much time for sleep as the event continues the next morning at 7:30 sharp, heading towards the Italian capital, Rome. After a pit stop, Coulthard is back in form. What makes the MILLE MIGLIA so special?
When we're driving at night, there's people on the streets, and only in Italy, I think, you could do such an event.
The MILLE MIGLIA is staged on public roads that aren't closed off to normal traffic. So David Coulthard would never be able to break Stirling Moss's speed record even if he wanted to.